Welcome. Welcome to the second online event of Indian Enactus 2020 National Convention. We opened the convention actually on 1st of August, which is Saturday, and we had an exciting dialogue between the chairman of KPMG India and Hindustan Unilever. For those of you who did not attend the opening session, you can see a live recording at our website, enactusindia2020.org. Today we have two exciting events. First, we have a second live dialogue on the future of entrepreneurship and innovation, where three of our students will dialogue with three eminent leaders across the world. The second event today is the announcement of the opening round winners and semi-finalists of Enactus India's National Competition 2020. But before we start, let us be reminded of who we are and what is our purpose. We are India's leading industry, academia, and social network. And our purpose is to create a better India. So how does the 2020 convention support our purpose? First, we have a project showcase of 85 plus Enactus social initiatives. This encourages collaboration and sharing across teams across India so that every team and every student becomes more impactful. Second, our live dialogues allows eminent leaders today to share their insights, their experiences, and their tips to our students who are the future leaders of India. Finally, I'd like to say that the Enactus mission never stops. Enactus students are continuously working to impact India positively. Enactus leaders and faculty advisors are continuously interacting with our students through a variety of initiatives through the year. Mentoring calls, calls with leaders, innovation workshops, incubation workshops, and a whole bunch of activity that runs 24/7 through the year. Our project showcasing is also continuous. Our challenges are continuous. This year itself, we had the global Ford COVID-19 challenges. And as many of you will know, 3 out of the 14 teams chosen globally by Ford Motor were from India. We had the WILO National Ideas for Impact Challenge, where we had 110 plus ideas from across colleges in India to solve the COVID challenge. Even as we speak, we're having One Race for Ocean global challenge. Even as we speak, we have a global 77-second videos festival to showcase impact around the world that Enactus students and teams are creating so they can learn from each other and each become more impactful. So as they say, Enactus never stops. Before I hand over to my colleague to start today's events, just one request. We know that in India, we have a lot of internet challenges. If we do have challenges, for participants, if you drop out, you can catch a recording of this in our website, enactusindia2020.org, for the next many days. So with that disclaimer, let me hand over to my colleague, Smitha Ramkumar, who is the Vice President and Chief Programs Officer of Enactus India. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Devdeep. A very good evening to everyone. I hope this is a great start to your week. And if you're having a not so good week, please do visit our project showcase at Enactus at india.enactus.org because that is sure to cheer you up. As Devdeep mentioned, we have 86 participating teams this year, and all their projects are showcased on our portal. In just under 12 minutes, each of these project videos will take you through a journey of immense passion and positive impact. Two things will definitely stand out when you watch our Enactus projects or speak to our students and alumni: innovation in their project methodology and approach, and their entrepreneurial spirit. So for the next 33 minutes, we will be dialoguing on the future of entrepreneurship and innovation. We have 6 people joining us for this dialogue, and I would like to start by welcoming Professor Raj Jaswa, who is a serial entrepreneur in the Silicon Valley and also a member of the Enactus India Advisory Board. He's in fact joining us from California today. Welcome, Raj. Next, representing India's most premier academic institution, I would like to welcome Professor Subhashish Chaudhary, Director of IIT Bombay. And joining us from his home studio in New York is someone who is no stranger to Enactus India and has a large fan base in India, Terry Torok, Chief Innovation Officer of Enactus Global. Hello and welcome. Representing our students and alumni, a hearty welcome to Manvi Bansal, Enactus alumna from IIT Delhi.
Hello.
Kamaria, an Enactus student from SRM University, Chennai, and Mustansir Dohatwala, a student from Jai Hind College, Mumbai. Welcome to everyone. And with this, I'm going to hand it over to Manvi, Mustansir, and Sasaki to please begin.
Thank you. First of all, on behalf of Enactus India, a pleasant good evening, sir. My name is Mustansir Mufaddal Dahadwala, and I am a final year management student at Jai Hind College, Mumbai. I am very passionate about working on student entrepreneurs. Not many focus on that sector of the grassroots. Over the past 2 decades or so, we have seen a lot of startups, startup ideas, inventors, investors, and entrepreneurs. However, when we talk about the word entrepreneur and innovator, a lot of us misjudge them to have the same meaning. So my first question is to Professor Raj Jaswa. Sir, can you please elaborate as to what the difference between an entrepreneur and an innovator is? And also, how do they work as an interlinked body? Over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Mustansir, I had an audio problem, so maybe somebody else can answer the question.
Okay. I would like Subhasis sir to take over, please.
Okay, so thank you, Mustansir. I think even though Raj would have been the right person, but let me tell you. So it's a question of whose idea it is, okay? And the fact is, who is taking it forward? So suppose say that I'm innovation. First, of course, you have to understand that what is innovation this is all about. So there has to be certain novelty, something new, okay, whether it's a product or a process that brings in certain radical change, or it need not be always radical, but something even could be incremental, that adds value to the existing pool of resources that we create to help the society go forward. Now, if you look at that definition of innovation, now the question is that you have some idea that you expect, you have verified or whatever, you have tested something, but finally it has to be implemented and it has go to the ground level to have actually people participating in it, using it, buying products, whatever. So the question is that, is the innovator, okay, himself is an entrepreneur? It could be very well, there is no restriction on doing that, but it's not necessary. Because when you go for entrepreneurship, there are, apart from being the innovativeness, you need other skills. Maybe that particular person doesn't have that, okay? So if you have somebody else like Raj Jaswa himself, is a very serial entrepreneur. He knows that I can take this idea. You have to understand this idea has a value. I take it forward. I find out resources, which could be money, other things, and then put it together to something as like either a product or something that can actually go and have a reach to a wider group of people. Now that's where this entrepreneurs come in. So I want to be precise. If now Raj is back, then he can add more to that.
Yeah, I would say the important thing for an innovator to realize, the person who comes up with the idea, is that it's really all about teams. A team is what is required in order to take an idea and make it real for the world and generate some real value for the people who are going to benefit from whatever innovation that comes along. So teamwork is something that is probably one of the first skills that needs to be developed among the entrepreneurial founding team. The teamwork where you trust each other 100%, maybe 110%, to kind of take care of that idea and make it successful, no matter what is needed. Uh, that is what is ultimately going to make your innovation happen for the idea that you came up with.
Okay. Thank you, sir. To add on to that point, I've actually heard
Again,
a lot of lectures
so
from...
other people will have to answer. Yes.
No worries. I was just commenting on your answer that I have heard about your lectures in which you talk about a lot of team building, how to choose your co-founder, what ways to go in. And as rightly said, you need a very strong team. And to sum up Subhashish sir's answer as well, somehow, is it also that implementation is innovation and execution is entrepreneurship? So in a yes or no. Okay. Subhashish sir.
Okay, so me. Okay, so yes, definitely, these are important points. See, that you cannot decouple any of this thing into a separate entity. Let's say innovator is totally out of it, because there is always constant endeavor to change it, because you might have to change the way in between, because you realize something else, you have to tweak certain things. So if you have a very frigid idea that it may not work, so the team that Raj was saying is very important, because you have to keep on always changing until you find in a position to say that this is where that actually goes and helps something. It has to have a value creation. So that value creation has to be seen with that particular perspective.
I cannot underscore Professor
Go ahead,
Raj's
Ted.
point team enough, because if at Enactus, you're presenting you're presenting outcomes and projects. Very little opportunity to talk about you and the team. So as an investor, if I invest in something that you propose to me, a project or a business plan, then I'm not invested in your failure. I need it to work. But if you sell me as a team and prove that you live your values, you have a strong team, you have frequency of communication, I will invest in a team and I'll see you through your failures. So I would love to see more Enactus teams present their team, the impact of their team, the strength of their values, the strength of their communication plan. And that will see people through lots and lots of ups and downs, successes and failures and challenges. So I would work very hard. And Professor Raj, as you both know, when you take a look at the two failures of projects, one is the team implodes. The team does not get along. The team is not aligned. The team is not living their values. And the other one is they don't have a good understanding of their customer base. They don't know who they're serving. So those two key markers, if you can plan for that, then you will have not only a successful outcome, a successful project, but you will have a stronger team.
Absolutely.
I hope all our young leaders are listening
Just
to
to
that.
add one very small kind of example, I remember the first company that was invested in by some VCs, and afterwards we asked the VC, how did you decide to invest in us? And they said that you three guys, founders, were from IIT, and we knew that if the problem couldn't be solved or the innovation was not on target, you guys will figure out something else.
That's
So
right.
that's the power of the team.
That
I
is
hope all
so
the young
true,
leaders are
sir.
listening to that.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Sorry for joining in late, internet issues. So, hello, my name is Shashaki Kamaria. I'm an undergrad at SRM Chennai. I'm currently pursuing my electrical and electronics engineering. I've been part for Enactus for over 2 years now. And trust me when I say this, Enactus is always going to be the best decision of my life. From the exciting field visit to the adrenal rush during the competition, which I'm going to have by the end of the session. And after doing so many projects, I firmly believe that innovation is the cornerstone of the young generation of India. And Subhashish sir, you have practically dedicated your life to students and their innovation and research across IIT and many other colleges. But sir, why is it so that we don't see many entrepreneurs and startup in India as in Silicon Valley? And how can we encourage those students to be an entrepreneur?
That's a good question, and we often get the same question, like, why are not something like this, like some Facebook, others coming from India or something. But I must also, before I answer to your question, let me say that very few of such things come even from Europe, even like, in the Western countries, we call them, but not at the same level as it happens in Silicon Valley. So what is that magnet that is there in Silicon Valley or in US as such? So it is an ambience. See, look at that, how you progress. So the concept of entrepreneurship or anything where you do the excellence, that has to be recognized. That has to go through a process, so that I want to set up some company, I want to do something. I want to do it with a minimum time. See, I want to preserve my energy so that what is required to get the innovation to the market, that should be the easiest way. The system should facilitate it. I should have ambience where we should talk about this. So even though I must say the situation is improved in the last maybe 10, 20 years, there have been some very good companies that have come out, okay, but we are still not there. The kind of facility provided that the state or the country does it as yet. So we have to understand these are the value creators, okay. So we can create intellectuals because we get good people. There are so many good people in India, right? We can give them. But the question is that how do you enable to have that kind of ambience so that it always you are thinking, oh, that is a nice idea. If we have a team that Raj said, and so that I can make it as a product, I can tweak it. This is for certain environment, and finally it can reach to the common people. So we are improving, but I would say that maybe I would give us another 10, 15 years. The state is also helping. Now the government is also realizing. Maybe at some point we'll see that one or two these big shots coming up. Maybe it's from your college or somewhere else. I think that's what we want, everybody. Okay.
As the
Maybe
Yeah,
me.
as the most non-Indian
let me.
Paul, I would
Yeah,
like to.
let me. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That one of the reasons why going to India, working with students from India, is you have you have a cultural discipline, you have grit, you have passion, and you have focus. It gives you a distinct advantage, and you should keep and carry on that advantage, because no matter where you take it in the world, Silicon Valley to your own home, that is the fuel that will make your passion turn into ultimate performance and ultimately into a life of purpose. So you have a distinct advantage. Hold on to that, and that's why we have famous Indians running Google and Microsoft and many organizations. So hang on to your distinct advantage as well.
Yes,
Maybe I
sir,
can
Raj,
add
sir,
a quick
please go
thing
ahead.
to you. Okay. See, there is one more issue is that when you actually bring it to something more like a near products or something, when you have some idea, research, you have to stick to it so that, what you call the TRL level goes up gradually. See, what happens in our education system, somehow we get the thing out, we publish or whatever, but we do not put much emphasis to see that the TRL level goes up. So we are actually in IIT Bombay, we are trying to set up a TRL booster, okay, so that
Oh,
whatever our people come out, so they will work purely on that. Okay, so it will call them, instead of PDF, maybe call it like a translational research fellow, TRF. Okay, let them work on it, so that they don't have to worry about anything, we'll pay for them. Okay, let them come up so that it gets close to the market. Then any industry or your own entrepreneurial activity will say, oh, now I'm ready, let's start a company. I think so. Maybe we'll hear more from us in another maybe few years. Okay, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll
definitely.
just add one thing, since I've been in Silicon Valley for 40 years, and we get delegations from every country trying to recreate Silicon Valley's entrepreneurial kind of burst. So the secret that I have figured out after 40 years is really not the bright entrepreneurs that Silicon Valley seems to have. It's really the support system around the entrepreneur, the lawyers, the accountants, the researchers, the universities, the companies that are supportive of entrepreneurs and giving them a chance to test out and do pilots and prototypes. It is really the ecosystem of Silicon Valley and the mindset of everybody to, help out any bright new idea that comes into the picture, right? To solve a problem. And that requires, kind of general education of the mindset of all people, not just the technical people or the entrepreneur. It's all people. And I think, the activity that Prime Minister Modi and then all the universities and everybody is doing to promote the mindset of entrepreneurship and the importance of entrepreneurship for everybody. That is ultimately what will create the support system for the entrepreneurs to take off. And I would say that India is right now regarded as, India, maybe Silicon Valley first, Israel second, and India number 3. I mean, India is already at the 3rd or 4th level in terms of a supportive environment for entrepreneurs. So we are getting there, guys. Yeah. So keep coming up with new ideas and passion. Yeah.
We'll be passionate, sir. This should be our 10-year challenge for the future generation, I believe. And as of now, we should focus more on growing bigger and brighter step by step.
Exactly.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'll just introduce myself as well. I'm Manvi Bansal, and I am an Enactus alumni, graduated from IIT Delhi 3 years back. And I'm currently working on my own startup in health and wellness sector.
I know she's saying something amazing.
You're not able to hear
Very
it.
powerful question is coming. Just got to get a little audio from you. I can?
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, so I must say that whatever experience I had at Enactus for 3 long years, I think that has been pivotal in shaping up this decision of starting my own venture. I think that is going to be true for a lot of
Manvi, I'm going to guess, is your question in and around COVID? Just not if the question is addressing COVID.
It will be, sir.
It will be because
it will be, sir. Yes.
Sorry, I don't know. Anything else here?
Or probably, Sasaki,
Yeah.
Can you again just
We have
can
no
just
audio
direct the
there.
question to Terry if you can.
Uh,
Or Mustanza,
sorry.
you can do it. Okay, I'll just direct this question
Sure.
to Mustanza, and Mustanza, you can ask.
Okay.
Okay. Should I go on?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
definitely.
So, okay. So her question. Okay, am I audible, sir? That's a bigger question.
Yes, you are.
Okay, that's great, sir. So in COVID, it is a changing world. How do we have innovative practices to create a better post-pandemic world? And as an Enactus community, how do we get industry and academia together to create a better world for us all? And that's my question to you, sir.
Thank you. We were born and raised for this year. 2020 has given us a new vision. This is a year for an entrepreneur to rise, revive, and thrive. It's an amazing year for entrepreneurs. It does not go without empathy. Empathy is one of the core values of a successful entrepreneur. It doesn't mean we're impaired by empathy. It means we act upon empathy. So we have a clear opportunity this year more than ever for the wake-up call of the world to see the world as a social entrepreneur and a social innovator. The support system, while it may have challenges and collapse, look for your support, find your team, because in COVID, you can rise. I'm going to use a very specific example that came out of, I believe, a team in Delhi. A beautiful project by raising money around masks and then distributed those masks. So it was a very entrepreneurial mindset who then raised money around the cost of a mask. And then guess what? They distributed those masks to the community. But then when the funding against the masks ran out, so did their project run out. But when I asked, what is that you raised money for? They talked about the product being the mask. But in reality, what was actually happening happening was more of a service. They were developing a rapport with the community. They were developing communication with those that they handed the mask to. They were providing education. So when you put product and service together, you get the equivalence of an iPhone, which is both product and service. So you as an entrepreneur raising money for a product, since you're providing a service. And that's an opportunity of COVID, because the next thing you need to supply to them, you established a customer base. You're using your empathy, your values to create a rapport that's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. When you take the total of product and service, and you as a strong team in this time of COVID, you will rise and thrive. The work is still there. It is merely changed.
That's a very good answer. So would you like to add on to this, Subhashish sir or Raj sir?
No, I think Terence put it in a wonderful way. I tell you what, see, COVID is here maybe for another few years, okay, but someday it will go off. But the experience that you learn, okay, because this empathy as well as the need, that, you know, sometimes no matter how good you are, there at some point you will be at a back foot, okay. And what happens when the entire community, entire world is back-footed, okay, then after that, like if you in India is a cricket country, so I use this term now, right? At some point you use the front foot, okay. How would you do it? So you learn a lot of experience. See, you know the hardship. Only those who know the hardship, you know, how you feel it, you know how to bypass them. So actually you are more or less, I would say the opportunity would be to make you future-proof. So sometimes like this, you know, next time, yes, this is not what I should do, but this is what I should do other way. So I think that's what I would like to add to what Terry said already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great, Subhashish
just
sir.
to-
I think that's a great analogy with cricket. I think that's a really interesting viewpoint to look at the things. Raj sir, with your illustrious entrepreneurial journey, you are really an inspiration for a lot of budding entrepreneurs. So I think there's a question that I'd like to ask you. I'd really like to know that is there really something called the art of the start? Like, how do we go about, like, how do we start a startup? Like, this is especially true for a lot of students because they do not have enough funds and facilities. So please, I would like to hear your take on this.
Yeah, Guy Kawasaki is a very good friend. The art of the person who
Yeah.
came up with that phrase. So Guy Kawasaki is a very good friend. I've known him from the days that he kind of came up with all his crazy ideas in the garage.com and everything. So as you probably know from that book and from his talks, etc., you know, the start of a company is really somebody who just can't sleep because he's got an idea. You know, you come up with an idea and you just can't sleep. And, you know, everybody else can think what they want to think, but the entrepreneur is basically, the idea takes over that entrepreneur's body. It's like an incubus, you know. So now what's interesting about this entrepreneur and the art of the start is that there is a lot of passion that is created empathetically all around that person, right? So it's only when an entrepreneur stays passionate, perseveres for that idea, and is continuously promoting that idea, then what happens is that suddenly things start happening around that person. So, you know, even though, you know, you look at it and you say that, you know, I'm just one person and I've got this great idea and it's, you know, I know it's going to help, you know, but people are not getting, are not responding to it. Just the power of that idea will slowly start changing everything around that person, right? So the art of the start, in my opinion, is really, you know, getting that idea and then becoming so passionate about that idea and persevering with it that you create an organization and an effect around you, and it happens, and it's amazing. Ideas are more powerful than us. That's what you're going to find out.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
true, sir.
Yeah.
On that note,
I mean, the fact that you started a company after 3 years, and I think it's that something was instilled in you during your years of Enactus experience, from seeing all the other teams and seeing the energy and seeing the kind of how ideas take life, right? So the same way, I'm sure you woke up one day and said, I got to do this. I don't have a choice anymore, because the idea takes over your life, and it's to me, it's a beautiful thing. To me, it's a beautiful thing when an idea takes over a person's life, because it's going to give purpose to your life. You're not working for money. You're not working for a job that has to be done because you are now kind of fired up because of some passion, and that's what gives purpose to a human's life.
So you put it so beautifully. This is something that we can all experience while starting up, but we just can't understand, okay, this is happening. So the idea is taking over us. Thank you so much for putting it that way.
Yeah.
This really, really insightful.
Yeah.
that
No,
is
that
truly
is
insightful.
that's why I tell people at my age, I don't want any new ideas. I just want to teach. I want to teach how to
Enough of
do
it.
entrepreneurship, but I want no ideas, because I know the minute I get an idea, 7 years are gone. For 7 years, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, I'm divorced from the world and from reality because I'm my idea, So that is what happens. And, so I want no more ideas. So,
That's the actual beauty of entrepreneurship. It leads you somewhere you have no idea where
so
you're
that's
going.
that's why I love teaching young people, because you know for the people that get that idea, it is just a beautiful thing for those of us who are fostering entrepreneurship to see that person flower and take off. Yeah.
That was so beautiful, sir.
Yeah.
Very inspiring. On that note,
This is life. So
truly it is. It's the new normal, sir.
go ahead, Mr.
On that note,
I cannot hear you, but others will answer. Yeah.
Okay.
it's really unfortunate you can't hear me, so it's a very good question for you. Anyways, so my question was, Subhashish sir, IIT Bombay is at one of the pioneering institutes that works on fostering and nurturing entrepreneurs and budding startups. However, at the other side of the spectrum, when you talk about an ambience, when you're talking about ease of doing business, when you're talking about support systems, a lot of colleges and institutions lack the foundations. They lack the people, they lack the resources that will plant the seed of entrepreneurial mindset in their heads, in young minds like ours. So what course of action would you suggest for these institutions and our young leaders?
So India is a very big country and it's very, very diverse. There are a lot of things there all over. Okay, so IITs are very few. Okay, similarly, if you look at it, so the country needs thousands and millions of entrepreneurship, that kind of thing. So that's what is a requirement. Naturally, the IITs cannot do it. It's just a minuscule, okay, the kind of effort that they can do. So we have to take it to the community level. And see what has happened. Many of the states and others are setting up incubators to provide them support, mentors and others. Okay, but again, most of the time these are typically in big cities. Okay, not like in a smaller tier 2, tier 3, places. So, but there are still a lot of these brain and other things available over there. So we'll have to connect them. As we started with the things that the team, right? So when you discuss something, some good idea comes out. So where are you making that particular thing happening? So we have to encourage that thing to happen. So we should have like early small places you have a clubs, right? Something. So you can call it like a community kind of a gatherings and community. I would say incubator where you meet sometimes, maybe every Friday evening or Saturday morning, and discuss that what all can we do. And there are, see, now thanks to the education going into almost all corners of India, there are a large number of people who are even in smaller cities and others colleges. So they should all talk about this. And it's not only that we should be only engineers. Please realize that, because we are talking about social sectors and others. So you need social scientists. You need other things. They can tell you this is what society needs. Okay. And then you do the brainstorming. Then once you do it, so you get an idea. Then from the idea, you have to bring it to some table where it says that, okay, now we would like to do the experimentations, okay, whether it is possible. Now, to do that, you need certain facilities. So what we do, like, for example, if IITs, we float this thing, even from the government has certain scheme that if certain ideas, please, we'll try to help you with money or some support, other ways, some mentors, okay? And it is happening in many places. So then you try to find out, get some help from the experts like Raj and somebody who have done well. They can then guide you, because you have to always keep on tweaking, right? So once you have it, then you have an idea, and then that idea bugs you, okay? Then you will find people who are going to support you financially, others, because it has been tested, and then it takes off. So we need thousands such things to bloom all over the country. So unless we keep meeting, Enactus is a very good way of socially connecting people.
Absolutely.
So that kind of thing, you have to take it as young people. Can we meet, instead of talking about, okay, you can always watch movies in some time, but apart from that, once in a while, do that, okay? Discuss what all can you do to help mitigating certain problems and others, and it will happen. These good people will come, okay, you have some idea, how do you provide a scaling up? How do you see that this goes in? Because the way you are doing, it'll serve maybe 1,000 people. But if you do it like this, now you have a much bigger reach. So these are the things, as a young person, you may not know always. It may strike. There have been people who have done it well, wonderfully well. But that's when you need those who are successful, and we'll try to connect them. Okay. And there are a lot of such mentors all over India. They are here. And I think we can leverage on their expertise. And so that's why it just spreads at the bottom of the pyramid. That's what we need today. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, let
Your
me
views
add
very
one thing. I could not hear Mustan sir, but I want to add one thing. That, 25 years ago in Silicon Valley, there were only 10 Indian entrepreneurs. We had probably more than 100,000 engineers working in Silicon Valley in the 1990s, about 25 years ago. And there were only 10 Indian entrepreneurs. And today, 1 out of every 3 startups in Silicon Valley has an Indian entrepreneur. And I would say there are probably 100,000 Indian entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. How did that change happen? That change happened because Indians, we actually fostered entrepreneurship in the Indian community. Like, there are Indian engineers, Vietnamese engineers, all kinds of engineers are there in Silicon Valley. But Indians dominate the entrepreneurial scene in Silicon Valley right now. And the reason it happened is because we started inviting Indian engineers to start connecting with each other in an entrepreneurial tent, right? So that's called the TIE, and TIE is a entrepreneurial tent which is now in about 20 cities in India. So just by going there and all kind of being interested in entrepreneurship. Now there are similar tents. Enactus is another tent. TIE is another tent. NASCOM is another tent. These are all tents where everybody comes with the aspiration of being part of an entrepreneurial journey, right? So meeting like-minded people with an entrepreneurial interest is very important. And that is what ultimately we call it networking. So there is education, there's networking, and then there's technology, right? So the networking part is actually very, very important because you have to, as companies, not just technology, as Subhashish said, it's really a team, and there is all kinds of skills that are needed to build a company.
Absolutely. I could just add, I know you won't be able to hear me, but like this one quote I've read somewhere. Your network is your net worth. And today it's actually very true. These hard times.
Very loud and clear, sir. What's beautiful is that today we have academicians from different part of country in our viewers, and they must be feeling inspired enough to work upon it, the work upon your thought. So we've discussed a lot about entrepreneurship, innovation, but what about the creativity that goes behind it? It's very unfortunate that our time is almost over. So this is the last question. I'm directing it towards Terry, sir. Sir, you have seen a lot of musical creativity and Enactus innovation at close quarters. Not every student can be creative or innovative. So how can an average student, like average student, creative and innovative student like me, change the world for better?
Sasaki, your question is music to my ears, and so is your name. A couple of
Thank
things.
you.
Everybody is creative. You're born creative. It is our creative currency you are born with. We tend to unlearn creativity. So we just have to get to that childlike spirit of creativity. And the other thing you mentioned is average student. There is no average student, and there's certainly no in this audience and this call. I love your question. And the art of the start, big fan. Art is it's whole brain thinking. We only unlearn creativity in school when we walk from a separate room to study the arts and then go over there for the maths. That's our bad, sorry. But it's all one, it's all holistic. And so oftentimes you'll hear in an engineering standpoint or an academic standpoint, problem solution, problem solution, problem solution. What problem are we solving? And that's fine for an entrepreneurial path to think problem solution. If you are stuck in problem solution, then you only get to look at the world of problems. Problems will find you. But I can guarantee A.R. Rahman wakes up in the morning. Do you think he's going, man, what problem am I going to solve today? Probably not. Off making music, making the arts. What the beautiful thing about the arts is it's training ground for great entrepreneurs. You put up a piece of art, people give you their opinion. Maybe they'll buy it, maybe they listen to it, maybe they don't like it, but they'll tell you right away. So anything in the arts is awesome training ground. And so what I invite you to do is think of the way that Chris Martin or Chance the Rapper would wake up in the morning feeling passionate, powerful, and ready for performance. That is a life of purpose. Now, all of that art has an opportunity to serve social societies, has an opportunity to expand. But I invite you to take a mindset of problem solution and invite passion, purpose. And in between, it's all performance. That's whole brain thinking. And if you see the world as beautiful, you will find beautiful. And beautiful will find you. And when you look at people, you might say, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to protect that beautiful. I'm going to protect that forest. I'm going to protect the bees. I am going to protect beautiful. Or as an innovator and an entrepreneur, can I create beautiful? Can I build on beautiful? So when you think in terms of a art, whole brain thinking, shift from problem solution, fight, passion, purpose, and everything else in between will be performance. I heard in this call so many great comments. We talked about the why. Enactus, you guys are born, you live the why, you get the why. Simon Sinek starts to talk with the why. Great. Passion is your what. We talked about who. That's your team, who you're serving. We talk about how. You're in your universities. You got your how down. Just listen to your academic advisors, listen to your teachers, listen to people that have made mistakes before you, learn from those mistakes first. But the most important question you might want to be asking yourself is when. When is finite? When is powerful? Raj mentioned earlier, I don't want a new idea that's 7 years, because we know you have to manage time. So your when is precious. It's finite. We're on this earth for a finite period of time. COVID has given us a chance to rise. And while many people say, hey, this is your world, young people. Well, guess what? As long as we're on this earth, we're all in this together. There is no passengers on earth. There is only crew. And so we are here for you. And thank you for all you do.
I don't know about asking or learning from others, but I'm definitely going to learn from you. You're so inspirational. I have written
Yeah.
down everything, made my notes. I better start following it tomorrow onwards.
We all have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we have heard rumors about challenge that you have for all of us, sir, and personally can't wait anymore. It's your time to reveal it to your all of our viewers. Please go ahead, sir.
Well, the three of us got together and we talked about, what would be a really great challenge. And I heard it come up in conversation, and we talked about the entrepreneur spirit. We talk about our values of being, and especially at Enactus, empathy is a key value, but our values are based on integrity, the essence of everything. Passion, the power of an entrepreneur and a social innovator. Innovation, the subject of this particular call. But the last piece of our values of Enactus is collaboration. And collaboration is key. So my challenge and our challenge to all of you as students, and my promise to you, if you can solve this, I produce the Enactus World Cup. I would love to give you a form to the perfect audience in the world, the great Indian mindset of entrepreneurs. I would love to understand a better way for all of us to collaborate together across countries, across borders, to foster and support true collaboration. As you all know, at our competition, and we're about to find out winners today, we tend to think in terms of the old paradigm of IP, protect our idea, protect our idea, protect our idea. My challenge to you is specifically, the three of ours challenge to you is specifically, how do we break the old paradigm? How do we disrupt our own competition and turn it into not just competitiveness, but how do we help score? How do we help create collaboration?
Wow, sir, such a wonderful challenge, I think, and a really meaningful, not only for Enactors, but all the organizations. I think this is going to be really important as to how you can collaborate, because once we can collaborate, you can take the projects to the next level, and that's how I think you can scale. That's really wonderful. I would have loved to talk more to you guys, especially Terry, sir. You couldn't hear my audio, but we'll have to wrap it up here. So I'd really like to thank Mr. Raj sir, Subhashish sir, and Terry sir for being here, giving your time, and giving so insightful learnings to us. And I was personally really, really enriched by this call. And thank you all for this.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
It was like a lifetime opportunity for me, to be honest. I'm gonna cherish it for so long, and I really appreciate for all of you making us feel so comfortable. It's very hard to feel so comfortable.
So as Terry says, I expect you to now come up with a beautiful piece of music. Do that. Start doing something. Be creative. That's all.
Okay, I'll be more creative.
You all
something new.
Very comfortable. And I'm so blessed and proud to be here on it. I'm so honored and humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you to my colleagues. Thank you to Devdeep and Smitha for giving me the honor to even be present today. It's amazing. You guys are the best.
All the best to you people. Yeah, please go ahead.
Terry sir, quite a fan. I was there at IIT Delhi last year, and not as a conclusion, we heard this one statement that you had mentioned. If one of us can look after two of us.
I'm looking forward to connecting with y'all individually. If
Yes,
and when you'll have questions, you have my email address now. So do connect with me. I'd love to connect with you guys. Yeah.
Would love to, sir.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Absolutely. So Terry sir, I was just saying that this the one statement that you had made last year, which was very moving. Can you please say to all our audiences, the one that if one of us can, you got the statement right?
Sure.
Please do it, sir. Quite a fan moment.
Same.
It's inspired by my two sons. I have a beautiful son. Well, I have beautiful family, and my two sons. I have a boy, Elijah, who is a YouTuber. He's funny. He's great sense of humor. Good guy. I have beautiful. And Justice is 23. He is autistic. He is praxic, nonverbal. So, and he reminds me to be very, very present. He is my gift. And so when I look at my two sons, they are my why. And so when I look at my two sons and I think about the greater context of the world and the fall of Earth that we've done, it reminds me to say, if one of us can look out for two of us, then there is enough of us for all of us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful.
Big fan.
So
On this
as a
note-
professor, I could put a question at the end of it. So if we have 130 crore people in India, how many such people is required to touch everybody's?
Yeah.
Okay. So you will not find much. One person is good enough.
Absolutely.
It starts with one person, and that's you.
And we're talking about right? So if one can take care of two on average, then we have more than enough. It's abundance. It's not scarcity. It's abundance. Thank you.
On that note, I would like to once again thank all of you on behalf of Enactus India and also the viewers. We have about 350, 400 viewers who are watching this live. Thank you so much for this 33-minute dialogue. We look forward to definitely interacting with all of you personally. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, we are earlier. That's fun.
If you see the world as beautiful, beautiful will find you. I hope we all remember that and the power of an idea that takes over an entrepreneur. And I hope all Enactus teams are taken over by the power of our Enactus mission, which is to create a better, more sustainable world for all of us. At this point, I know all of the teams are very eager and very curious to know the opening round results. And with less than 8 minutes to go, we are going into now announcing the opening round results. Just to give some context to people who are joining us for the first time and non-Enactus members, we had 86 Enactus teams across India participate in this year's competition. We had an opening round where we divided these 86 teams into 12 different virtual competition rooms. And after the opening round, 2 of these teams from each of our virtual competition rooms, or leagues as we call them, will now progress to the semi-final round of competition, which will go on between tonight and Wednesday night. So we have the top 24 finalists, 2 from each of our 12 leagues, and these results were verified and compiled and certified by our presenting partner, KPMG in India. So thank you very much to them for supporting us with this. And now let's move on to the much awaited results for the opening round of competition. I'm going to start with League 1. Out of the teams competing in League 1, the 2 teams moving forward as semi-finalists into the semi-final round of competition are Sri Venkateshwara College and Lady Shri Ram College for Women. Congratulations to both the semi-finalists from League 1. From League 2, we have a team from Kolkata, St. Xavier's College, and Ramjas College from Delhi moving into the next round of competition. From League 3, please congratulate the teams from Hansraj College and Netaji Subhash University of Technology. Moving forward into the next round from League 4, let's put our hands together for last year's national champion IIT Delhi and Kirorimal College from Delhi. Congratulations, teams. IIT and IIT Roper and Jesus and Mary College from Delhi again. Moving forward to the semi-finals from League 6, let's congratulate the teams from Shahid Bhagat Singh College, Morning, and Kalandi College from Delhi. From League 7, we have the winners Sri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce and Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology competing in the semi-final round. From League 8, Please welcome to the next round Delhi College of Arts and Commerce and Dr. S.S. Bhatnagar University Institute of Chemical Engineering and Technology from Punjab. From League 9, moving forward are the teams from Kamala Nehru College and Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. Congratulations to HR College of Commerce and Jamia Millia Islamia from League 10. From League 11, please congratulate the teams from BITS Pilani Goa Campus and College of Vocational Studies from Delhi. And last but not the least, from League 12, hearty congratulations to Sri Ram College of Commerce and Delhi Technological University. Congratulations to all 24 semi-finalists. All our 24 semi-finalists will now be moving forward to the next round, which will happen over the next 48 hours. Please do join us and our project showcase, where you can see all the 86 presentations. Our project showcase is in fact now open for both voting and viewing, because we are going to announce the most voted projects during our final award ceremony, as well as the most viewed projects. So we have two campaigns running, very fun campaigns. If you're part of Enactus official on Instagram or Facebook, please do follow us to know more about these campaigns, which is #WeAllVote and #WeAllView. So please do go and take a look at our competition portal for more updates on our ceremonies that's coming up, enactusindia2020.org. Over the next 5 days, we will have 2 more ceremonies, which will be the semi-final round award ceremony on the 6th of August between 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. We have yet another exciting 33-minute dialogue on the future of talent development and recruitment, again between industry leaders and Enactus students and alumni. And finally, please do join us for our final award ceremony on 8th August between 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. To hear a keynote speaker speak on the topic of leadership in trying times. So with that, I congratulate all teams. As we all say in Enactus, we all win just by the work that we do through the year and all of the passion, collaboration, integrity that we embrace through all our projects and the social impact we create. It's not just a statement when we say we all win. It is truly the spirit of who we are and how we live within the Enactus community. So congratulations to all of the Enactus India teams. And I look forward to seeing you all again on Thursday, 6th August at 6:30 p.m. right here. Until then, goodbye.